Court calls the case, People versus Olin Thurman.
Alexander on behalf of the people, Your Honor. And I believe that's Ms. Zerbst. I don't see her. Or the.
Is this to be coming with Mr. Thurman?
My apologies, Your Honor.
That's all right.
Assistant Public Defender Alexis Zerbst on behalf of Mr. Thurman.
All right. And this is a recall. Were we able to make any progress?
Your Honor, I believe I will be renewing my request to allow him to be tethered to his mother's children's house. So it is my understanding that allowing him to stay there would not be a violation of his current bond conditions because he is allowed to have supervised visitation with those children. And at this time, he will always be supervised.
Well, no. Because as I understand the bond conditions, he's not to have any contact with any children. Was the exception to that were the children that were the alleged victims in this case. So,
Your Honor, if I may clarify, I don't know if this was entirely clear earlier. The alleged minors involved in this case are not actually Mr. Thurman's children. Those are the
right, correct.
Children. He does not
no,
share
you're
those.
right. I misspoke. But he wasn't to have any contact with any children. The two other children, there was an exception for supervised visitation.
Correct. And Your Honor, my argument is that that is what he'd be partaking in by residing in that home. There would always be another individual present in that household. The children's mother takes the children to her parents' house during the day while she's at work. She picks up those kids, brings them home. Mr. Thurman would be obviously home by himself without the kids there. They would be at the parents' house, the grandparents' house, and then the kids would return with the mom.
The courtroom fills with tension as the horrific details of the case are revealed. Prosecutors explain that the defendant secretly installed hidden cameras in a bathroom, recording children in private moments. The evidence is shocking and victims' families are visibly upset. Judge Simpson listens intently, his expression darkening as he hears how the defendant passed the images around, exploiting the victims further.
So the mother would always be present during those interactions. On the record, we would be objecting to that given the fact that we can't make sure that that happens all the time. And I would have great concerns of him being around children and living in a residence with the children, given the facts of the case. So we would be objecting for that reason. And Your Honor, respectfully, even with the condition that he was allowed to have supervised visitation, there'd be no way to guarantee that that was taking place in the first place either. Your Honor, all this is being based off of right now is a 4-page police report. We did just receive some media discovery. I believe there's more to come based on a search warrant, but all of the information I have doesn't show that he's a danger to children at this time, especially his own children. Again, Your Honor, the children's mother is present in the court. She is willing to attest that she is perfectly okay with this arrangement, not feel unsafe leaving or having Mr. Thurman around their children. Your Honor, I just have concerns given the facts of the case, even though it's much to the police report, we have a search warrant coming, but the facts of this case are that he put a camera in the bathroom that recorded the victim, her brother, and her children, and he sent those videos, including the children, to their father and other family members and other people, and the videos were of them using the restroom. I mean, I have concerns. The victim said that he admitted to her over text that he had more images, and when she confronted him about this, it became physical, and he was grabbing her necklace, breaking it, bit her arm, scratched her, and I mean, I have concerns given that this case does include surveilling children and sending those images to other people. And Your Honor, without getting too much into the facts of the case, it's my understanding that Mr. Thurman filed his own police report a week prior to this police report being filed involving the complaining witness. He did provide a copy of that police report to me, and we do have that in our files. If Your Honor is unable to let him reside with at the home of his mom.
I passed this matter so that you could find alternative arrangements. I've heard all of this.
And Your Honor, those are
The
alternative.
way that it's going to work. Either he finds alternative arrangements or he's going back into custody.
And Your Honor, those other alternative arrangements, the only thing they were able to work out is putting Mr. Thurman up into a motel. They do have a location picked out, and they have confirmed that there is rooms available at that location.
Then I'm not going to have a problem with that either. Is that what he's going to do?
If Your Honor is not letting him.
I am not. I think I made my position real clear when we were at the bench. And I think my face, if not tone, is making it very clear as to my interpretation of this order. And no matter how many times someone goes to say it, the crux of the order is he is not to be around children. There are two exceptions. I'm not creating other exceptions.
And Your Honor, we would not object to the motel.
Your Honor, then I believe at that time that is what Mr. Thurman will be proceeding with.
We'll need that. He'll need to submit that address of the motel within 24 hours to the court and to community corrections. Then he can do that. And
Victim's parent takes a stand and tearfully recounts the impact of the recordings, describing how their family's privacy and safety were violated. The defendant tries to respond, showing no remorse, claiming ignorance or downplaying severity. Judge Simpson interrupts, making it clear that such excuses are unacceptable and emphasizing the seriousness of the crimes.
you're requesting an adjournment of these proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd be asking for the closest possible date.
The what?
The closest possible date that Your Honor can accommodate.
August 19th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor. And is an email to your staff sufficient for providing the address? Thank you.
Court recalls the case People versus Olin Thurman.
Ally's on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender Alexis serves on behalf of Mr. Thurman, who's approaching.
Olin Thurman.
Okay. Record should reflect prior to the system going down that we were having a bench conference. We concluded that bench conference. Fundamentally, the defendant was released to a particular address on a tether. That address is no longer available to him. He, in a nutshell, has a place which he can be released to. However, his release to that place would be in violation of his current bond conditions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Even if there's somebody there. Even if there's somebody there.
Your Honor, and just to further, he doesn't have any other location to go. It is my understanding that there'll always be some other adult present at that location. Even when the mother's children does go to work, her parents come to watch the children while she's at work. So if the court's concerned, we would ask for that bond condition to be modified to say no children except his own children. Like Your Honor is aware, they are his children, and the mother is present in court and is willing to.
Right. I understand, but with reference to the primary case, his release, his contact with his own children of that other relationship is only supervised. Right. So what, and I get why you may be asking, but what you're in effect asking the court to do is then to release him in the presence of kids unsupervised.
Well, Your Honor, it's my understanding that there will always be someone else at the home while the children are present.
Prosecution presents digital evidence, including recovered files and messages proving the defendant intentionally distributed the recordings. The courtroom reacts in shock as the evidence leaves no doubt about the defendant's deliberate actions. Judge Simpson delivers a stern warning, stating that exploiting children in this manner is one of the most reprehensible crimes the court handles.
Yes, and I get that. I'm saying it's not a structured supervision under sort of some type of monitoring. I get what you're saying, and I'm uncomfortable doing that. Young man, you don't have any other place that you could stay?
No, sir.
Okay, because here's the problem. I'm gonna do this in a way to try to be fair, because he's come here, he said what his circumstance is. He's been released, can't go back to the place that he was. Has tried to find, in good faith, I think, alternative living arrangements. And so I'm not faulting him for that. I just think that releasing him to that would be in violation of his current bond conditions. When I look at the bond conditions, the charges, I think that those bond conditions are appropriate. And so I'm not going to even modify or tweak those bond conditions in this case. I don't know enough to do that, first of all. But I also want to be fair to the defendant. So what I'm going to do, counsel, is I'm going to pass this to my 3 o'clock block.
Okay.
Give you an opportunity to try to find some other alternative in doing that. I think that's probably the best I'm going to do. I'm in effect, really what I'm doing is I'm resisting putting him back in. I'm going to give you a chance to kind of brainstorm, figure out something else before I'd have to come to that point. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
Okay. So we'll pass this to the 3 o'clock block. My last.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks for watching. Stick around longer and click the highlighted videos to your right. See you there.
In his closing statements, Judge Simpson addresses the defendant directly, expressing outrage and emphasizing the long-lasting impact on the victims. The defendant sits in silence as the judge outlines potential penalties, restitution, and the weight of the law. The courtroom witnesses a rare combination of justice and moral condemnation as the judge ensures the severity of the crime is fully acknowledged